Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we're taking another cheeky look at Stellar and specifically why we think the XLM token's about to explode. So Chris, this is a really interesting topic. We've seen some fantastic news. I want to call it a bombshell. It's not a bombshell. It's just an explosion of fantastic value that's going to be unlocked for the XLM token. So we're going to get into all that great stuff and then have a look at the charts, Chris. We're going to have to look at the charts on the daily, the 4-hourly and the hourly views. We're going to see what's happening here and why we think this thing is ready to pop. And we can potentially see, Chris, 100% in no time at all. So if you do find this video useful, informative, smash that like button. Chris appreciates it, I appreciate it, and I like to think the cheeky crypto community here really appreciate it too. And of course, you know, if you're new to the channel and you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and treat yourself and subscribe, become a subscriber. And by doing so, you'll be kept up to date with all the videos, live streams, and even the premieres that we do here. We do a pretty good job, I like to think, Chris, at keeping people up to date with their crypto news and events.
I'd like to think so. and Nick,
yeah.
At this point, it's probably good. I know it's not a one harmony or a Cardano video, but you know we're dealing with very intelligent people, you know, in the XLM community, and they're likely to hold more than just XLM, right? And if you do hold Cardano or Harmony One, we do have delegation pool set up now for both of those projects. So if you're looking to make a passive income, check out our pools. So the Cardano pool, the ticker Cheek, you can do that through the Deadliest wallet, ADA Lite, Atomic wallet, and the URI wallet. And for Harmony One, you can do that through the website. And yeah, check it out. We've got videos on the channel to have a look at that as well, haven't we, Nick?
We do, yes. So definitely do check those out. And yeah, we'd love to have you there, over in those pools, minting blocks with us. And yeah, really helping the decentralization effort for Cardano and One Harmony or Harmony One as well. And both fantastic projects, so do check them out. Right, with that said, let's jump on over, Chris, to the desktop and take a look at you know, what's going on with this value that's being unlocked with the XLM token.
Yeah, I'm bullish on XLM, Nick. You know this. Let's get into it.
Fantastic. So here it is, guys. Flare Networks have announced a matter of 16 minutes ago at the point of recording this video that they'll be integrating the XLM as an F asset. This is bringing the XLM to a scalable smart contract and trustless gateway. It's basically, you know, a gateway to Stellar. So decentralization is far too important for maximalism. So ecosystems must be united, and is obviously added here, Stellar.org and unlocking true value here. So this is fantastic news. It joins things like Litecoin, XRP. We also have, you know, the XLM token there as well. So this basically means that the value of the FLR token or the Spark token is going to obviously increase. It has to collateralize more tokens, right? It's got 3 things it's going to be collateralizing now rather than just the original single asset, which was XRP. So that's fantastic news for anyone who took part in the snapshot for Flare Networks. You'll be, you know, delighted to see another project entering this space. And beyond that, for XLM holders, you now have a way to use your XLM tokens in a smart contract. So fantastic use cases here that are being added to the Stellar blockchain and the XLM token specifically around Flare Networks. This is really important because it means that your XLM tokens are going to be locked up in smart contracts, right? So if you're an owner and a holder or hodler of XLM, Chris, this is fantastic news. It's double fantastic news for us, Chris, a double bubble, if you will, because we will be getting our FLR token shortly. We are already XLM holders. We're XRP holders. You bought that single Litecoin as instructed by a viewer, Chris. So
Yeah.
so basically, you know, we're going to be able to really take advantage of the Flare Network system. It's going to be fantastic to be a part of. But also, when people start utilizing this, you know, they're going to be locking away these particular tokens, these projects, and their native assets, XLM, XRP, Litecoin. They're all going to be locked up into smart contracts utilizing what's going to be known as FXLM or FXRP and FLTC. So ultimately, those are the things that are going to be running on the EVM on Flare networks. And ultimately, we're going to see some fantastic things happening here. It means that the value of all of our projects and our token, our personal holdings, Chris, and for those who are watching this, are going to increase in value faster than maybe anticipated. This is fantastic news for Stellar. This is fantastic news for anyone who's invested in Stellar, and it's also fantastic news for anyone who took part in the Flare Network snapshot. So really buzzing about this one, Chris. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not just buzzing about it, because we're in all of these projects. It's always nice to hear, that others are going to be, doing very, very well in the space as well, right? And if you hold any of those tokens that Nick talked about, I think this is really bullish news. And again, it's just another dynamic that we're going to start to see more and more in this space. I think it's really important. So yeah, it's great to see, Nick.
It really is. Right, let's park that there for a moment. Just fantastic stuff happening in the background. That's real world use case. But we may, at the moment, we know that the price of these tokens, XLM specifically, is pretty much just driven from speculation, right? And ultimately, that is going to change in the future. But for now, it's going to be, let's say, 90% speculation, 10% actual use case, right? But let's get into the chart, right? So here we have the Stellar to USD on the daily. Okay, we have the Fibonacci retracement from the low level here of the 27th of January up until we had the high point of the 13th of February, right? We had the retracements kicking in at this point. We can see that we took out that 618 area, we retested the 618. We have Bitcoin's correcting it down to the 50%, and obviously down towards that 23% as well. Rallying hard from there, back testing on the 382, a good key area of the Fibonacci, and recently finding resistance up here at 50% retracement zone. That's important because we can obviously now paint this in, right? So we have a parallel channel, a descending parallel channel here on this daily chart. We are actually above the midpoint of that. And as you can see on multiple occasions, this has worked as a good area of support. We can see 2 wicks here hitting this midline and acting as support. We can see the 3rd wick here acting as support as well. We're obviously crashing through because of Bitcoin's major correction, pulling the rest of the alts down with it, rallying up above this midway point again, coming back down, having a back test on this today. We are gearing up towards the end of this particular channel, Chris. I think this is coming to an end. We're going to be potentially powering on out of here very, very soon. I'm hopefully going to demonstrate why I think this is the case. What I mean by that as well is the potential upswing to this. We obviously have that former high level here, which will be passing and heading up towards our first price target. For reference, our first price target for the XLM token, Chris, is 82.6 cent. Okay, so quite a significant movement, not quite all-time high level, but very, very close to it. In that rally and that movement to the upside there, we're going to see about 100 or so % growth, okay, from the current position. So it's going to be a significant rally. It might not quite make it all the way to that price point. I just put that there as the kind of draw a line in the sand. That's our target, right? 100% from where we are today. So let's go ahead and look at a few additional things on this chart. We can obviously see the volumes are quite low, which is actually supporting us trading sideways and why we haven't had huge amounts of price spikes. But with that being said, the RSI is corrected quite nicely on this daily chart as well. Currently just below the 50 or the midway point means that we are highly or more probable, I should say, to have an upward swing than we are a downward swing. With that being said, ideally, we would like to position ourselves between 40 and 30 on this RSI. So somewhere down here, that will give us the maximum amount of swing to the upside when everything is lined up nicely for us. So let's go ahead and pull this onto a 4-hourly chart. 4-hourly charts is going to show us a little bit more of the detail, right? So we can see obviously all of these wicks. We can see how that volume really spiked up at the beginning, and then we started to basically decline shortly after that. We can see how the volume spiked up a little bit here and has come down again. So the volumes are decreasing every 4 hours, and that's quite clear to see here just inside these this volume chart. But with that volume decreasing, we have traded sideways. So that's actually a good sign to stabilize the price with decreasing volumes. And the RSI was oversold briefly, came up here to about 44. So it's about 43 at the moment on this 4-hour chart. That is a reasonable level. There's plenty of room to the upside here. Lots of swing potential if that volume really kicks in here nicely, like we have had over here, for example. that was to mimic over this section, there's loads of room here before we become overbought. So that's a really good sign. Ideally, we'd like it a little bit lower. Ultimately, in this zone here, right, when we were oversold, and right when we were at the bottom, if the volumes were greater than this particular spike, then we might have actually been able to push further ahead. But nonetheless, the volume's nice and low at the moment. The RSI is below the 50 zone, a little bit lower, and everything could be gearing up nicely for a spike and triggering some buy orders. So we have to watch that space. Let's pull this into that 1 hourly view. Again, more detail, Chris. Here we can see just how that volume has really reacted, and most recently still declining on every hour, right? So every hour that volume is still decreasing. The RSI was oversold at the point of this particular section here. We had climbed quite a bit, testing back on the 30 RSI zone as we got to this particular section. We have rallied up quite high. We actually got to about 60 on the RSI, and that's when we're in this particular zone here. Now, from here, we had a couple of back tests down on that midpoint, which we can see quite clearly on this chart. And yeah, on there, we can see that we've actually been hovering around the 50 zone, getting below it, above it, and below it, above it, ultimately just kind of backwards and forwards. We're currently below the 50 midway point. The volumes are still decreasing. Ideally, we'd like that volume to drop a little bit lower. Not too much, but a tad more would be nice. So ultimately, get another back test onto our midway point here. That would correct the RSI a little bit lower. And then if that volume really kicks in with some buy orders triggering, we could definitely see, Chris, some massive spikes on price, because there's going to be a load of room within our RSI. Our MACD only ever follows our RSI, so it's the way seeing it's crisscrossing all the time at the moment. But yeah, I think ultimately, Chris, this thing's ready. It's pretty much poised. The RSI's corrected nicely on our daily. It's nicely corrected on our 4 hourly. It's also corrected on our 1 hourly view. We are above that midway point on our parallel channel. So we're about to go one bounce more from there could be good. The volumes are nice and low. So when we get lower on that RSI, it could just be a few more points. That volume will really kick in, will be taking us out of this parallel channel. Taking us out of this channel, we could start seeing some of these areas here getting taken out of play quite quickly. And like I said earlier, we are targeting that 82.6 cents. That's the first price target. I imagine it might take a few steps to get there. We might end up coming back and really heavily testing, I would have thought, the 786 area. That's going to be a point of resistance. You can see that from here because that's where all these wicks kind of go to. So I imagine it will probably have a little bit of a stopping block here, a retest maybe down on that 702 area, and then retesting and pushing back up from here. A little bit of resistance at 59.9, but not too much. And then, you know, we'll be moving up the rallies here. So I think it's all to play for with Stellar. There's fantastic news about, you know, Flare Network supporting the XLM token is going to also increase, you know, the demand for XLM as well. I think there's going to be some fantastic things happening with Stellar Lumens, Chris. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, just, you know, we always knew this was a great project, and I agree with everything that you've said. I kind of just feel that there's, you know, we need to caveat what the expectations are, just with, you know, provided there's no like event that causes a crash in the space, you know, regarding Bitcoin, for example. You know, as long as nothing like that happens, you know, I'm seeing the same as you in the charts, Nick, and I think it's going to do really, really well.
Absolutely. So guys, if you found this useful, informative, then do go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it. I really appreciate it. And I like to think that you appreciate it too. And of course, you know, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with all the videos, live streams, and premieres that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all that said and done, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.